Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. This astrology report is for the week of May 14th, and this week brings us fresh new territory as we did just leave the Mercury retrograde shadow. And so today kind of marks that ending point of Mercury's entire process during that retrograde in Aries. And so we have been making new starts and then having to restart those again, and then going back and reviewing that and redoing some things, and then starting that once again, as the sign of Aries is all about new beginnings and taking initiation and initiative on something new and fresh in your life. And so Mercury is the planet of our mind and of our communication. We tend to think a lot about things in the past and talk about things that we are mulling over during that Mercury retrograde time. So we'll start to notice fresh conversations, fresh thoughts, fresh ways of thinking, and fresh mental movement. This is definitely a nice place for us to be in the sign of Aries. It's going to be a little more difficult because these are the people who, this is the energy who likes to start and have all the fresh things. And so having to go back and redo things again and again, it's not really an Aries quality. So the last Mercury retrograde, it's been like 6 weeks or so, 5-6 weeks of that full process. And so, again, we're going to be starting to see our mind and our communications, our conversations, everything start to freshen up a little bit more. And so that's really, really good energy. Mercury retrograde can definitely cause a lot of like just slower feeling energy. So things should really pick up, and we should be able to, take on some of these newer items that we've been looking forward to doing. And then Mercury is going to then move out of the sign of Aries into Taurus on May 15th on the Pacific West Coast. I'm using all Pacific West Coast times. And when Mercury enters a new sign, any planet entering a new sign, the focus changes. So I just said Aries is all about those new beginnings, having these fresh opportunities. Well, Taurus is the second sign of the zodiac. This is where we ground in to these new beginnings a little bit more, and we start to get a little more resourceful. We're going to actually start to bring a few tools out of our toolbox and start to feel more secure and stable within these new things that have just begun. So Mercury is a fast-moving planet normally, but of course the retrograde cycle took many, many weeks. And so we're going to be probably really starting to feel this fresh energy come Wednesday of this week, and be pretty excited about it. It's going to be an opportunity for us to become a little more, we're going to feel more comfortable, really. Taurus is about comfort and is a Venus-ruled sign and wants things to be really pleasant and comfortable and lovely, and that's great. And so we'll be feeling more of that. Taurus has a big party going on. I have the chart pulled up for the day, and I'm actually seeing the last 12 to 13 degrees of the sign of Taurus with a big planetary conjunction basically going on between 3 planets and the sun, a luminary. So Venus is at about 18 degrees of Taurus. Uranus is about 23 degrees. The sun's at 24 and Jupiter at 27. So this is a tight little Taurus party going on, working on so many of these Taurus themes. This is a fixed sign. And so we can tend to be kind of fixated on this type of energy. This is like also our financial security. Our material security is all ruled by the sign of Taurus. So we're kind of like reaching out and pulling things in right now, right? It's like, ooh, there's that, and I'm pulling that in for my household. And ooh, I see that as a resource, and I'm pulling that in. And so there's a lot of kind of gathering that takes place with Taurus energy. And this is absolutely a seed planting energy too. This is where this is an earth sign. And so planting your garden this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere anyways, and focusing on the earth and your connection to the earth and nature, all super strong Taurus themes. So if you're feeling pulled, being called out into the mountains or out on that nature walk in the evenings, definitely go do it. There is magic to be found out there right now with all of this Taurus energy. And it's going to be over soon. The sun is going to be moving into the sign of Gemini come early next week. That is going to be on Monday, May 20th. And so this is really our last few days of this really grounded, earthy energy. And Taurus is because of that Venus ruling, we can get comfortable here. And we have to kind of remind ourselves to not get too fixated with Taurus energy as it's transiting, because it is, we want to kind of dig in the hooves a little bit and like put on the snuggly pajamas and like really get comfortable. But we are indeed going to be seeing a lot of energy moving out of Taurus into Gemini next week. And we'll talk about that just a little bit more in a few minutes after I get through some more of the events happening this week. We have on May 17th, a square between that Mercury, who just moved into the sign of Taurus, and Pluto. Pluto is at 2 degrees of Aquarius. And when we have any kind of Pluto interaction, we know that we're going through a transformation, and something is transforming, something is alchemizing, an energy shift is taking place. This is where Pluto, we go into the chrysalis, and the caterpillar then becomes the butterfly. And there's always that kind of gooey state in between. So Pluto interactions can feel kind of tough because change is, well, it's just hard for most people unless you have, this super open-hearted, ability to just move with change. That is a rare quality. Most of us have a tough time with change, and Mercury is moving slow right now too. I'm going to take a little bit to catch up some steam. When Mercury is sitting still, our minds can kind of still be a little slower, just still trying to put together the pieces a little bit. So this Pluto square could be a little bit of, it could be sort of like a slap in the face, like a little bit of like a one last, I feel like it's like a one last thing from the Mercury retrograde, reminding us to continue on with those lessons, even though Mercury has moved out of that area of Aries and is moving on, picking up steam. It's like going to be that reminder of like, hey, we're still transforming. We're still going through this sort of alchemizing experience. And so, again, that's May 17th. And that could be also a tough time for communications. Pluto is like kind of dark, and a lot of the things that Pluto likes to talk about, Mercury talking, communicating, Pluto likes to talk about the things that, like the skeletons in the closet and like all the taboo things that nobody likes to talk about, poop, pee, tough conversations, feelings, emotions, all that stuff is so hard to talk about. And sometimes these kinds of things can really come up with Pluto squares. Mercury is going to be communicating something from the deep, dark depths of which is Pluto. So that, again, Friday night. And then as we move into Saturday has a couple of really strong energies. We have 2 different planetary conjunctions on May 18th. And this is just some kind of hot ticket energy when we see this type of interaction come in. And this is going to be in Taurus. This is those 4 planets that the 3 planets and the sun, the luminary. And we're going to have two groups of those planets meet up together. And so this Taurus energy going to sort of grow into the weekend and come to some type of culmination point with this May 18th double planetary conjunction. 444, 444, 444 across all my clocks here. This is Stacy Dredd, Galactic Ambassador in the cosmic community. As we have these two strong planetary conjunctions come through, we could feel a surge of energy. The Sun and Jupiter are the first to join forces. A conjunction is when they join up, and those energies of those two potent forms, they blend together. And the Sun is our identity. This is where we find ourselves. The Sun is ourselves and who we are and the main focus of our day. So the Sun coming into a conjunction with Jupiter. Jupiter is a huge opportunistic planet. This is big opportunities for expansion and just opportunities for opportunity when we deal with Jupiter, this amazing giant planet in our solar system that acts as basically Jupiter is in an astronomical format. Jupiter is a protector of all the other planets because of its size. It actually pulls in with its gravitational force, or so the theories go. Jupiter pulls in with its gravitational force things that are floating around in our solar system and actually bring them into impact with the planet or come into its orbit instead of flying through the rest of the solar system and smashing into our little planet of Earth. So Jupiter's kind of like a big protector. It's like a big shield. It's a big force field of our planet. And in that way, because Jupiter protects us in that way, it gives us opportunities to survive, opportunities for more days on this planet and whatnot. So the Sun and Jupiter are expanders. This is like something big is happening and expanding, and we are becoming a bigger version of ourselves in the sign of Taurus. This is going to be relating to how we provide, how we make ourselves feel secure, how we gain our material possessions in a way that is going to be stabilizing for us, not gathering possessions just to have a bunch of stuff and like not know what to do with it. Taurus knows exactly what to do with every single one of its possessions and takes care of each of those things and recognizes its usefulness and respects all of these tools. And so these themes coming up into our identity as the Sun is making this conjunction with Jupiter. And also on May 18th, this is where we have the planet of Venus coming into a conjunction with the planet of Uranus. This also happening in the sign of Taurus. And that Sun-Jupiter conjunction is at like 28, 29 degrees, 27, 28, 29 degrees of Taurus. And then this Venus-Uranus conjunction is at 24, 25, 23, 24, 25 degrees of Taurus. Sorry, I didn't get the exact degree point on that. But we're dealing with the last 10 degrees of Taurus. So if you have any planets or points or angles to any planets or points in your astrological birth chart here in the last 10 degrees of Taurus, you are going to be feeling this. There is going to be action for you in the realms of which house this is in for you, which house those last 10 degrees of Taurus are in. Venus is the planet of love and money, and Uranus is the planet of surprise and change and unexpected, unusual things. So we may be seeing a surprise in our financial, in our financials. We may see actual surprise money come in. This is also where we are introduced to new relationships. Venus is the planet who rules all relationships, and Uranus is like just spontaneously bringing a lightning bolt of something into our life. And so this could be where we want to actually pay attention this week and over the weekend. We want to really be paying attention to the people and the relationships and the money opportunities and all these things that are coming into our life, because this is coming into us in the sign of Taurus, which is trying to provide for us, which is trying to give us more resources. It's trying to give us more material possessions and help us be more stable. This is really powerful. I really feel like all of us are going to come out of these two planetary conjunctions on top. Jupiter is a good luck planet, and Venus always brings the pleasant things and smooths things over and makes us feel more balanced and just better. So there's just no way that I feel like any of us are going to escape this weekend without seeing some of the benefits from these planetary conjunctions. And then after these little hot ticket meal deals pass by sometime soon, we're going to see Venus and Jupiter, the two benefic planets, meet up pretty soon. It's happening pretty soon. And they're going to be meeting up, and more of these gifts and pleasantries and opportunities and expansion is going to come through. So I feel like we're just in this amazing little phase right now of some opportunity that's going to create change, that's going to help stabilize us, which is going to make us feel like we have more opportunities because we're feeling more secure within ourselves and our ability to reach out and do more things as we feel more secure. So, wow. I was actually just talking with someone the other day about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but Maslow is a theorizer, and he made up this, his hierarchy of needs as a human. And the lowest need is just the basic need for security and safety and community. And so those are the things, that if you are having a tough time right now, if there's anything that you're going through, if, the Mercury retrograde was really tough and you had to restart and start and restart and stop and go back and redo a bunch of stuff and it was exhausting, that there is like this really beautiful little pocket for us right now to stabilize and to focus on the positive things, and really try and see, visualize, like really see this stuff coming in, how you want it. But the way the universe works, you can't be too picky about the outcome. You just have to request the most benevolent outcome, of course. So, really amazing little pocket of time that we're in right now. So watch out for your surprise love and money this weekend. And that's the May 18th day I can see being just this really big, beautiful day full of great opportunities and ways to express ourselves and our true identity and to have love for the surprising, unusual things and changes that are taking place in our life right now. So then on May 20th, the sun moves into Gemini, and that sparks Gemini season. This is an air sign, and this is where we truly embrace changes. Gemini is a sign also that is so very curious and asks all the questions and acquires knowledge and information. Gemini is also the sign of siblings and sisters and brothers and soulmates and twins. And so this is a great time, Gemini season, to get in touch with those people. If you feel as though you need to do some talking, Gemini is an air sign and likes to talk and to kind of, air things out. This is where during right at the start of Gemini season, we open up all the windows and just let the nice fresh breeze through and embrace the opportunity for some positive benefic changes that are happening. And so Gemini is just also, this is a mutable energy. And so this is why it's associated with change. As I mentioned, Taurus is that fixed sign. It's an energy that likes to be just more stiff and more fixated on one thing. And then that mutable energy is where they're just very okay with things changing. This is a flexibility that is really accessible in Gemini and with Gemini energy. So just being able to be flexible and accept things the way that they are, as the way that they are. And there's just this ability for Gemini energy to have this okayness with everything around them, and to be just super connected with their thoughts. We'll get more into that because we'll have a full month of Gemini season ahead of us here in the cosmic community, and just kind of looking forward to next week. We are building into our full moon in Sagittarius. That is on May 23rd. And that same day, we have another shift into Gemini, and that is the planet of Venus. She is moving into Gemini, and she's going to also get curious and start to ask those questions and get a little more flexible. So that's what we're looking forward to next week. Oh, and Jupiter moves into Gemini next week. So enjoy this last week of Taurus season. Get out there. Plant in your garden, put your feet on the ground, sit somewhere for a long time and just act like you're grazing on the grass, because that is the energy, and just enjoy it. Because as soon as Gemini season comes, we just have so much more movement and things start to really pick up. So, do enjoy that. And thank you so much for being tuned in today. Really appreciate you listening here, and I will be talking to you again soon. Take care. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.